All right, couple more minutes and then I'll start.
I sent the space out in my back channel.
What's that?
I sent the space out to everybody in my back channel.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. I did well. All right, so how have you been?
I've been fantastic, actually. I've been enjoying the weather. The end of the summer is coming, so I've just been trying to get out and get to the lakefront here in Milwaukee as much as possible.
Wait, y'all got a lake?
Yeah, we're on Lake Michigan. We share Lake
Uh,
Michigan. We actually share the same lake that Chicago has. It's
right,
a whole
so
strip.
y'all be floating pizza across this lake.
What is it with you and Afro and pizza? I can't sit up and eat that much damn pizza. Excuse my language. That much doggone pizza.
Talk to this man. I don't know why y'all be eating this pizza like this, man. Something wrong with y'all. We take a slice and go. Y'all have a family of four per sitting. What is this?
Yeah, I don't sit up and eat pizza that
You know
much. I don't
what?
want to.
Yo, every time I mention this man's name, he pop up. I think he Candyman.
Yeah, he just walked in here. Yep.
I think he's. Oh God, he's gonna get me now. Oh God. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna let you disrespect
Go
Chicago pizza behind my back.
go ahead. How you been,
I've
brother?
been good, man. How you been, bro? How you been?
Oh, I'm excited because I'm going into the technology field now, and I'm excited.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. What
Yeah.
what
So,
exactly is it exactly? What type of
oh, I'm doing data analysis with Excel. So they usually say 3 months, but I ain't waiting no 3 months. So I'm gonna try to do it as quick as I can. It's only like 10 modules, and then I get certified for that, and then afterwards I'm gonna go get certified in Python.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
'cause,
bro.
yeah, because the rest of my business ain't working no more.
Yeah, I'm working on getting a certificate right now. I got my laptop open and everything. A
Yeah, I
literal
started
pen in
today.
my hand. I just wanted to pop in the space real quick, show my
Mhm.
support.
Yeah, yeah, this is gonna be a fun space. I was gonna do this as a video, but I was like, you know what? I need some females on this because this whole grift thing is. Well, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Well, I mean, I'm glad I'm here actually, and shout out to and I'm gonna say this before I ask my question. It is important, and one thing I do like about spaces at this point, I feel like spaces has a lot of pros and cons to it. But one thing I do like about spaces is it allows us to have a balance between the males and the females in the conversation.
Right.
And now I feel like that's very important to move the needle in society, where it's not just the men talking about their opinion or the women talking. You can have many different people from many different walks of life. So I do feel like that is a good thing. But my question is, what is I'm hearing the girl era or the soft boy era. Where did that trend come from? Where's this coming from?
I would well, every trend now starts on social media, but I think if I had to, based on what I've seen, I think it started because let's just admit it. Biden messed up this economy and things are getting way too expensive, and I think females are starting to realize that, you know what, it's really here, and we may need the men to cooperate and sort of stabilize our lives a little bit. So now they're trying to say, oh, people like Kevin Samuels, maybe they were right, but y'all didn't want to listen. So I think a lot of these chicks are starting to remix themselves and try to play pseudo Kevin Samuel and, and try to lure men into this false sense of I got femininity. I was just scared to show it, but now I want to show it to you. When we all know you're just looking for a couch that night. That's how I'm viewing it. But I got women in here, so I'm gonna let some women, whoever want to come out, try to explain it to me. I kind of stay out of stuff like this, but I think it's a very poignant conversation because us men always talk about femininity, and if rest in your femininity, you'll get more suitors instead of trying to be like Megan Thee Stallion and all these idiots, and you could barely get one, you end up a baby mama. But again, Nikki, maybe you could explain it more as a female, because I know some females will say I come out sour and hate.
Okay, so my understanding, I don't know if you've heard of Pygmies. It's basically women who try to do what they can to please men so that they can be picked to be a wife or to be the girlfriend. They go out of their way to please them by dressing a certain way, behaving a certain way, doing certain things sexually for them. Well, they're all called Pygmies. So those type of women in the past year or so have been getting looked down on social media. Now all of a sudden there's this new phrase called soft girl era, and I can play the tape right here through the phone if you want me to, of this woman who made this video. And what it's sounding like she now doesn't have a problem with some of what they were calling the pick me behavior. And I guess just like you said, I guess it's one of those new things that women are realizing that is rough out here. And see what I feel like there's a shortage in black men. I've always felt like that for years. So personally, I've never had a problem with treating a man a certain way. I study under Shahrazad Ali, so this to me it just comes naturally. So I'm called to pick me constantly, and I don't care. But when it comes to most of these other women, they want to stand there like they're standing in the middle of a castle or something, and they want men to spend $300 on them for a first date. They want them to pay their bills, and these women, a lot of them don't even look good, and they're doing this. They're not even taking care of themselves, and they want somebody to cater to them like that. But let me play this video and just tell me what you think, okay?
All right.
I've seen it before, and I've been enjoying this soft girl era that I'm going through. I've never been able to be a soft girl. I'm so and now I'm just like, and then when I lower my voice and I need to be taken seriously and handled delicately, and I just look and I'm like, baby, look, I'm not okay. I need this. I need you. I get whatever the fuck I want. Who told me to be aggressive? This is crazy.
Okay.
It sounds like she went on Instacart, realized all her groceries were 20% more, and now she wants a man.
Thank you. And I can't stand chicks like that. Um, First of all, she has a million tattoos all over the place.
Wait, wait. You talking about the girl in the Jumbotron? Is that the
Yeah,
video you just played? Okay, all right.
yeah. It just sounded like she was just doing something that's working right now. That doesn't sound like that's who she is. So I'd rather she just be who she is and date how she dates. Wait, somebody wants to come up.
I was waiting for her to say, "Bruh."
Okay. Instead of trying to make it seem like she is really about pleasing the man because she's only doing it to get something. And yes, it is, relationships are transactional. Don't get me wrong. And I think that in this country, a lot of people are blinded by, people. I think we are the most in denial about what what's really happening, because it is a transaction. You give and you get. But when it comes to women like her, she's gonna be she's gonna be one of them trifling females. You can just look at her and tell. Not just the tattoos, the way it's everything about her, the nose ring, everything, and it tells me that she is just trying to get something personal for herself. She's not about supporting a man and what he's about. And that's the difference between, and then they just came up with this soft girl era and just want to name it that. So they're just pretending to be something just to get a man to choose them, but they're really not sincere about catering to that man like he deserves to be catered to. And that's why I'm bothered. You can talk, Bruce.
Yeah. The sad thing is that a lot of those chicks like that, like the girl in that video, they've been groomed and raised to be manipulative by their mothers, who are most likely baby mothers. And yeah, they're groomed to be like that, to learn how to manipulate. But what you don't understand, what they don't understand, is when they move in manipulation and deception, you really ostracize yourself, because men are not stupid. Like, they really think that's how misandrous they are. They think that men are dumb. And it's like, yo, men are not dumb. You know what I'm saying? You have guys who will tolerate you just to sleep with you, but in the long game, they not looking to really like invest in you like that. Like, but they've chosen a life of deceit and manipulation. And for some reason, they think that people are not up on game. No, we see you. Like, you have some men that will tolerate you for a bit, even though they know that you're deceptive, but they'll tolerate you for a bit to sleep with you. But, the men that you really want, they're not going to even come near you. Like, you're not going to even see them, because they going to peep the stuff and how you moving, and they gonna hide from you. Like, that's really how men move. Like, a lot of these women don't understand men and how we move. So
But Bruce, what if she's a dime though? What if she looks like better than, what if she is just so attractive, like super attractive?
What that mean?
I've seen that. Like, I dated this Colombian chick, and I really have like a story for this, because I dated this Colombian chick back in 2019 who body like was like she was stacked, like curvy. She looks like a Colombian, and she was very attractive, but her attitude was nasty and very deceptive. That shit turns you off. You don't want to deal with a woman like that. Like, men are not going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You don't like. I know it's hard for you. It might be hard for you to understand, Nikki, from a woman's perspective, but that will literally make a man Johnson, like, you know, um, you know, flop or whatever. That shit is not attractive. Like, that attitude, disgusting character will turn a man away. So it's inevitable, man. Like, they won't get far.
I
Nikki,
understand. Go ahead.
you said something that I felt like was very important. And I felt like we need to touch on that a little bit more, about relationships actually being transactional. Um, they are. Relationships are transactional. Now, are they transact? Because there's degrees to it, there's levels to it. Everything isn't the exact same across the board. Are they transactional, like your relationship with your supervisor at work? No, they're not that type of transaction. It's, your supervisor at work, your relationship with that person is, you do what they ask you to do and you get paid. There's not like emotional connection between, or it shouldn't be, I would say. There shouldn't be no emotional connection between you and your boss or your supervisor at the job. Now, between you and your partner, there is going to be an emotional connection. So it's not exactly the same, but let's be honest, and I feel like America is the only place in the world where we like refuse to be honest about this aspect of relationships. Everybody goes in a relationship looking for something for themselves. Now, that's not a problem, to be honest. The issue is when you're looking to go in a relationship and you're only looking to receive. You're not looking to give anything. You only want to take. You're only looking for yourself, but you're not looking out for the other person. That's the issue with the relation. with people saying transaction. People don't want to admit that relationships are transactional, because once you admit that, then that implies that it has to be both ways. Both of you two are supposed to be benefiting in the relationship, and that's just how human beings have always been. That's how marriages have always been. Both parties benefit. So I do think it is important when we talk about relationships being transactional, we have to talk about the fact that, yeah, I mean, the man is supposed to benefit from you, the woman is supposed to benefit from him. That's just the nature of human beings. That is how it is supposed to be. It's not like, oh, you cook my dinner, I pay you, or I pay. It's more to it than that, but it is transactional, and it's illogical to say it's not. This isn't the Notebook or the Titanic or some type of love movie. This is real life. So I'm glad that you brought that point up.
Yeah, and I just wanted to tell Bruce that I understand what you were saying. I actually wanted to hear more of what you had to say about that. I don't know if you dropped down on purpose or on accident. So that's why I pulled you back up. But I wanted to let you know that I do understand because why would you want to be with somebody who has a bad attitude anyway? And maybe she has a bad attitude because she thinks that she can get away with it. Maybe men are like chasing after her a lot. I wouldn't know because that's your past relationship. So I don't know anything about her personally. You would have to tell me.
I can actually tell you this because I like if you like growing up in the hood in Texas, we don't have projects, we got hoods. But growing up in the hood, you see that dynamic all the time. And what you notice in that dynamic is the only type of guys that's dealing with abrasive, crazy women like that are guys that need places to stay. My sister took care of a man for 16 years. She was a respiratory therapist. She could have got with a decent man, but she chose to get with a man who needed a place to stay, and that's how she would. And she would talk crazy to this guy and stuff like that. Any man that I would see that was successful and doing good for himself, he didn't have that issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of these these dysfunctional women need to understand. You're not going to catch the man that you think you want acting like that. You're just going to catch a man that's destitute and that needs a place to stay. That is literally like the worst thing you can do is act like that because you're not going to get what you think you are.
Yeah, so sometimes I'm on Twitter and I see like an attractive woman and like a man, like he'll comment on her post and this could be any woman, it ain't nobody in particular, but it could be anybody. And you'll see a man comment on her post, or he won't be like talk commenting on a picture. He'll just be commenting on something that they were talking about, and she will immediately snap off on him. And he's all extra apologetic. I don't know if y'all see that. He's all extra apologetic, and then she's still going in on him. I'm just seeing this toxic behavior, and I'm like, is it coming from attractive women, or is this a black woman thing, or what? But I'm seeing it a lot.
If you want to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like I don't like to I really don't speak too much on it, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a black woman issue. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. I think a lot of fathers have been out the house so long. Like it's been a long time. It's been like 40, 50 years. Cause I like a lot of chicks don't grow up with their fathers. So they don't know how to act around a man. Like a man is foreign to them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a myth. They don't know how to act around this dude because they never had him around. Like it's crazy.
You're partly right, but the other thing is a lot of our women, especially older generations, they are talking to them.
You're
They
breaking
have
up,
kids
Kid
like them.
Gravity. You're breaking up. Do y'all hear him?
Can you hear me now?
If you have headphones in, take them out.
No, I'm not. Maybe where I'm. Hold on. Is this better?
Yeah, it is now.
Okay. What I'm saying is a lot of these older women aren't teaching these young girls about the game. Like they don't even have sister circles anymore. They want to be these young girls. So there's no teaching. And I think that's part of the problem, and a bigger part of the problem than just not having a dad in the house. because a man can't teach a woman how to be a woman.
I actually disagree. I think men teach women how to be women. I don't think a woman can necessarily teach a woman how to be a woman. I don't really agree with that. I think a woman can teach a young girl about, feminine hygiene and stuff like that. But when it comes to, I think the men pretty much shape their daughters. You know what I'm saying? Just like even in the biblical days, um, the Bible says, don't whore out your daughters. That's what it tells us to do that. That means men need to have stern boundaries and rules and regulations when it comes to our daughters. And you see that these girls don't have no rules and regulation. That's why they running out at the mouth. They talking crazy because it's no structure there. Like the father is literally all the structure and boundaries in the household. Without him, there is no boundaries. You got mothers twerking with their daughters. It's literally insanity.
I agree. I agree. I see a lot of negative behavior on social media, and they are learning from social media. They're learning that, okay, so this is when a guy takes me out, I'm supposed to act a certain way towards him. I'm not supposed to be nice. I'm not supposed to get to know him for who he is. I'm just supposed to find out what he has, and I'm not supposed to do anything nice for him. There's some women who will bring a gift to a guy, like bring a little tiny gift or something in a little box, for a first date. And they think these women are crazy to do that. Another comment that you made about how men can teach women how to be women, that depends. That depends too, because I've seen that in situations where, okay, like you have your attorney and he has his assistant. I think sometimes you have to kind of like look at it as one of like a boss secretary thing, where you're being trained how to take care of that person. Each man has specific needs. And so, how are you going to learn how to take care of that one man? Yeah, you can learn how to cook and clean and hygiene from your mother and from your sister. But then you have the personalized needs, the issue with the personalized needs. So, it's, I agree with what you said, but also it's one of those situations where you could have a woman who's raised and has like a father who was there for her, and she can still grow up to be a quote unquote thought, because she chose to not listen to her father. So every situation can be different, but for the most part, the woman has to want to submit to that man. She has to want to please him. She has to want to have more of a traditional type relationship. And everybody ain't doing traditional relationships no more, so I'm not tripping off of that. But when it comes down to it, I feel like a woman should want to please a man. And I'm gonna let the next person speak. The hard black truth. Go ahead.
Hey, shout out to you, Kid Gravity. Um, I would love to see more ladies come up to the stage. If you got to chime in on
I,
this.
I invited them up, and I sure, yeah, and I sure didn't even know this place was going to be happening. But right before it happened, but I tried to invite them up, but a lot of times they'll come up after a while. They don't. I'm not
Yeah,
tripping.
yeah, nah, definitely, definitely. But I say this, like I respect everybody's thoughts, opinions. Me personally, I could not, and I got a little girl, my little baby, my this will be our last born, God willing, and no, I can't teach my baby girl how to be a woman, and I'm glad, and I'm happy I got a wife to be there with me, and that's on her. Now I understand totally balance. I get that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for speaking on balance. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe inherently, what I'm saying, the way we are built, as it stands right now, we do best with both parent figures, right? Because each got, aspects to to how you imprint on a child as they grow up. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. But get into this soft girl era thing. I just say this to the young, to whoever that person. I'm about to say young lady in that post. Oh yeah, I got several things up in the jumbotron now. But the first one I saw with the tatted up lady. I mean, I'll be honest. And not to throw too much shade, but she honestly looked like she done experienced her life, and she found a new way to kind of maneuver, and at her time, for her point in her life, maneuver, do what you do. But I don't know. I don't know about this being a an era. Like, is that what we doing? Like, we having our cake, eating it too, living our life, and then when it's come, because she kind of looked like she's at that stage where it's like, maybe it's time to settle down. I don't know. That's just me, just looking at that. But overall, femininity. I don't know how you define that in today's era with so much BS going on, man. I just, again, I look to the families. I look to those. I look to the families. I look to the my sisters and my daughter and cousins and whatnot growing up. You know what I'm saying? How they did it under the structure that they were raised under. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to that, you don't find too many of the negativity that you see out there. And that's another thing I teach my children. And I'm being long winded. I'm gonna hop off and land this plane, but I
No,
teach
you're
my
not being.
I,
Go ahead.
I
Go
teach
ahead.
my children that that they're out there. Don't let it get confused. Like, when it's time to have fun and go to the club, like, what else are you expecting to find? You out there to do one specific thing. I don't know, for some folks, maybe more than one specific thing, but I'm just saying, you're not finding nothing wholesome at the club. You know what I'm saying? You want to find them good, wholesome peoples. They a lot of time, the ladies, they working a job where you got to have personable skills. Or they involved in something else. But they're out there. Don't let society get you confused, thinking everybody out there just doing ratchet whole shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not what's going on. We got ladies out there for real, and you on your shit, you can have something wholesome. I just leave it at that.
I want to respond to something that you said earlier, because I think this is a mistake that a lot of fathers make, where you was all like, I don't really want to teach my daughter how to be a woman. I don't. You felt like you couldn't do that. It's literally your duty to do that. Like, I've noticed, like, a lot of guys get in marriages thinking that their wife is Mother Teresa. Like, no, your wife is still a woman, and she can fall into bad habits. That's why you have to be the order and the structure in the household to maintain order. So it's literally your job to shape up everybody in your household. It can't be a 50-50 thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are the backbone of the family. We keep things in check. If you see people are moving out of line, if your wife is playing some Cardi B around your daughters, and you don't just let that go on, you be like, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Put on something else. We're not finna have that playing around the kids. It's literally our job to make sure things are going the way it's supposed to go. And I've seen it, because we some dads just get a little bit too lax when it comes around the household. You know what I'm saying? You have to be on point, and you have to be on everything, and make sure people are not falling astray.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Now, number one, I don't think I said I don't want to. Just to clarify that. And number two, I don't think I implied 50-50. I said balance. Um, you know, I said balance. And what you saying, honestly, I don't negate that. But at the same time, there's gonna be situations where it ain't mama playing Cardi B. It might be daddy playing some obscene stuff. You know what I'm saying? So every household, every person, people are different, but ultimately there's balance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still here for my little girl, and I'm glad and proud. Let me find some wood to knock on. I'll be here for her upbringing. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, that's just me. But I still believe my wife is essential to that upbringing. You know what I'm saying? That's who birthed her. You know what I'm saying? That's who nursed her. You understand what I'm saying? And as my daughter develops, and comes into her own, that's who's going to be there to, be able to describe some of the things that's going on, and share their understanding. So, I'm gonna be here for it, and I do want to be here for it. So I just clarify.
Okay. I would like to hear from some females in the room. Um, I would like for this to be an interactive space because I'm not going to be able to stay for the full hour anyway because I have to go help with this Michael Jackson space. But I would like to hear from more of the females. But if I don't, we'll just hear the men's perspective. But we are going to talk. We are going to discuss this situation as much as possible. So, Afro, do you have anything to input? Okay. So I'm going to play this recording of this woman talking about what she thinks that soft girl era is. Can everybody hear me? Can you put up an emoji if you can hear me? Okay.
The man has already got on Pete. This soft girl era trend is some bullshit. This the same thing Pygmies telling y'all since day one, which is simply act like a lady. You will get further with men if you are nicer to them. Instead, y'all coin the term unfriendly black hottie and set around like 30-plus-year-old men girls calling yourself independent, constantly with your dependent hand out. Y'all fight for y'all right to be masculine and exude the most ugliest traits you see in men that you claim to hate. And then you don't demonize women until it comes to a pick me because, of course, if a man is agreeing with you, you must be wrong. One protection for men, but constantly disrespecting them every opportunity you get when they're not behaving how you want them to behave. And then the moment they state their preferences, they're controlling and misogynistic. And of course, it's women's empowerment until we don't agree with you. Then it's name calling and belittling. The fake trope about men's accountability when y'all really just want the leverage to act like them socially and not be judged. But only when it comes to bad parents and a hypersexuality. Instead of correcting the behavior, we should be able to do it because men do it too, even though you know it's wrong. And then using men like ATMs, but then get mad when they treat you like a prostitute. But good luck on y'all soft girl era. The Pygmies been new.
Thoughts?
She was on point.
She kind of broke that down
Yeah.
thoroughly.
This is just because Pastor lied to him and they're starting to figure it out. Everything is not what they thought. Maybe they're having this era now that they're figuring out that life is unapologetic and accountability has come to the door like a bill collector and they don't want to open the door. So now they're gonna try to put their hair up in a bun and put on the bathrobe like they just got out the shower. And hopefully accountability will be swayed and they will get away with it and then they'll have a man behind it. But we'll see how this goes. I don't see this lasting past Christmas. When they don't get picked, then it's gonna be men ain't shit again.
Well, I can, cause like my ears is to the street, and I can tell you what's really going on. Um, a lot of these, if you want to be honest, like a lot of these chicks are on seeking arrangements. They're already cutting backdoor deals. They're on seeking arrange. I'm not. No, this is not a joke. This is real talk. And nobody wants to talk about this, but it's a lot of our women. They're on seeking arrangements. They're doing backdoor deals because nobody's dealing with their attitude and their nonsense, and so they're resorting to prostitution. But this isn't being talked about, and so it's some real order that needs to be done because now we have a bunch of renegade women running about, and I know about renegade women. I had a close family member that I grew up with who ended up becoming a prostitute. The shit is real. People think that it's far fetched. Like, nah, it's a real thing.
How do you feel about that kid Gravity?
Prostitution is the oldest profession on earth. So, like I said, I don't think this will last past Christmas. When because a lot of men are not gonna fall for this. We got enough problems out here than trying to decipher how genuine a woman is. We're tired of doing that. If you real, you better be real the first time we meet you. If you're not, we gonna keep it pressing. So it is what it is. That's just my prediction. I don't see it lasting past Christmas.
I don't either. I think people are who they are. Um, and I think people like they grandstand and they try to take notes from other women when they see what works for them, and they only do it for so long just to get what they want, and then they go back to having the same nasty attitudes. Some women, they annoy the life out of me with the way that they treat men. And I get it, all men. I mean, you get some men who cheat or whatever, and there's some men who ain't doing right. And I'm not trying to be like excusing bad behavior, but what I am seeing is like this aggressive behavior coming from females, where everything that men do is wrong, and nothing that they do is good, nothing that the man does for the woman is good enough. So what you will see is them pretending to be like this soft girl who's putting this man on a pedestal, and they'll do that for so long till they get what they want. Or if they don't get anything, they're just going to back out and then start talking mess about the men again. And then it would just be the same old. And then you won't hear about the soft girl era anymore for a while, because this hashtag is moving.
Can I
But
can I
let's
can I
let's
amend
watch
my
the
thing a little bit?
hashtag in 3 months and see if the same hashtag will be moving.
Can I amend my timetable a little bit?
3 weeks?
Nah. When's that first All-Star weekend in sports?
I don't know.
It was the NBA All-Star weekend. I think that's when it'll stop.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The
I think
flu
it's
got on
I
us.
think it's in LA this year. Yeah, I think that's when it's gonna stop.
I have a different prediction.
Go ahead.
I think that after this manipulation tactic doesn't work, I think they're gonna stop being covert with the seeking arrangements, and I think they're gonna go full on renegade. That means they're going to be asking for just straight up transactions up front. You can see it already happening, but they're going to go from covert prostitutes to full on. I want the money up front. You're going to see it. That's my predictions.
But you know what's funny? You might be right because I know this current president wants to make prostitution legal. So I guess the OnlyFans hustle ain't working, so might as well just put it out in the open.
That sounds so sad. Are women really going out like that? Do y'all really see women going out like that? That's sad.
Let me ask you
They
this,
don't want to put
Nikki.
in the work.
Let me ask you this, Nikki. How many, and this is not me bashing black women, but we have to be truthful when we speak about this. How many black women have you seen co-sign sex work?
A lot, a lot,
Enough said.
especially on Instagram. Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I'm not. I don't. I wouldn't do it personally, but I
It's
don't
always
know.
going to
I
be that
don't
scene and
like.
set it off.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. So, but Kid Gravity, would you like to?
All
Okay, go ahead. The Heart Black Truth.
I mean, I was gonna say, dang, because it's getting bleak, with all this coming future. But nah, I really just think that what we're seeing is a trend that's been kind of built off of folks that because we've seen. I mean, as long as there's been Facebook and whatnot, I've seen a trend just myself and black women being more ladylike overall, like that's been kind of a thing as well. Now I've seen people kind of take it and make a grift out of it, but I think kind of what we're seeing now is basically the aftermath of COVID and just money dynamics changing a little bit, and a couple of people, I guess just trying to act a little differently. It ain't genuine. It ain't gonna last. But for what it's worth, I think it's built off of a greater movement. People recognizing that certain things maybe need to change. You know what I'm saying?
Well, standards are being, I guess,
Yeah, we're raising
foundational
our
standards
standards.
are
You know what I'm
being
saying?
put.
Black folks raising their standards overall.
Right.
Like Like there's an awareness that's taking place. Well, I mean, we clearly see it, right? And that's getting into every aspect of life. So even how the black man treats the black woman and how the black woman treats the black man, that's being thoroughly examined, and people are maturing to that. And I think this trend, if you want to call it that, I think that's a reflection of that. You know what I'm saying? They might, to them it's a grift, right? But in the grand scheme of things, it's an awareness that's coming out of it. Folks are kind of getting in line.
Well, there is going to be there's a resetting of cultural standards right now. Like I see a lot of things going back to the way they were per se, like men and women having standards, and if you don't meet up with that, it's time to go. Then people not even gonna waste their time chasing people anymore. It is
Can
what
I
it is.
can I ask y'all a question? What is the standard? Because 40, 50 years ago, like, your grandpa, whatever, can be working at a factory and he can, he was a working man, he was respected, he can have a family. Now, do men need to make like at least 70, 80K before they can get a woman's
No,
attention?
because you're seeing chicks online saying that that's not even enough, and they're talking about how they want to be stay-at-home moms all of a sudden again, and the dude gotta come with this. I think the standard is this is what I have, this is what you have, and they're gonna try to line it up and see if it's compatible and if it's even worth the risk.
That's the thing. I'm not really seeing people trying to work together. I'm seeing, oh, if he doesn't have, you know, status, a house, a luxury car, I can't settle. I've heard that word a
Dude,
lot,
guess
settle.
what? Them chicks are doing the work for us because they're telling you upfront what they're looking for, and you won't even waste your time. Or you'll say, okay, that's great. You might be materialistic. You can go try to go get that 1% of the 1%. Have at it. I have a whole pool of females that I can try to impress and weed through that and then go find the one that I need to go settle down with. That's what we're on right now. But these
Exactly.
chicks right now are saying they don't want to put in that work. That's why they're saying soft girl error because they want
Exa-
us to have easier time trying to pick through them. And you know us, we have a certain set of standards, and we can smell bullshit. So we're not even going to deal with it. If we have a bad feeling about you, even if you could play feminine and you could be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and all this, if we get a bad feeling off you, we're just gonna be like, all right, you doing that thing, that's great. I mean, you're being an adult, cool, and we're gonna keep pushing.
and another thing too, like Black America isn't going to grow waiting on that 1% to make that 1%, so you can finally give in to them. That's not how Black America is going to grow. Like, we need two people on the same, on the same page, procreating. That's how Black America is going to grow.
And that's why the code is so important. You gotta know that that's the first thing you gotta do. You gotta know if that person's on the code. First off, if they're not, move on because they're gonna corrupt you with whatever they on, and your standards are gonna slip while their standards stay the same. And then when it falls out, you're gonna be the problem, not them. So you always got to be steadfast in the code. And if they can't accept your standards, move on. It is what it is. A lot of us are at the age right now where we have life to worry about. Love, yes, is number two, but it would be nice for it to be number one, but we can't prioritize that with someone that just doesn't care or wants to build something. Can't happen. So all this infighting and all this, or why don't you go get a non-black woman and all this, enough of that shit. That shit is dead. If push comes to shove, then you're gonna have a lot of people out here that are single, but they'll hopefully be successful. And unfortunately, that's gonna suck for the black race, but I think that's where they want. They want. This is just another dividing tactic because a true feminine woman would never come outside and tell you how feminine they are. They'll show it to you. Just like a masculine man will never tell you how masculine they are, they'll show it to you.
So what are men looking for in what is
I can't
everybody's
tell you that, Nikki.
definition?
Every man has a different standard. I can't tell you that. We can say the general stuff that everybody likes. You know, you look good, you have a good job, you know, you got money, you're healthy, things like that. But there's intangibles that every man looks for in a woman that not every woman's going to measure up to, and that's what we love up on. Like for example, my wife, we have a lot of the same interests, like wrestling, anime, um, you know, drawing, technology, arts, things like that. That's what attracted me to her. If those are the traits that I said, okay, I want this woman to be with me forever, and I'm willing to procreate with her and build a legacy and take that risk in life. But a lot of these chicks think that their superficialness is what that is, and this other bullshit that, oh yeah, I'm loyal and all that. That's great. Everybody can say that they're loyal, but it's only going to take one thing for you to be disloyal, and it doesn't even have to be another person. It could be over $10. You got to find the intangibles on a person, things that most of the world won't see unless someone is willing to show that to you.
Yeah, some of these women have such bad attitudes. It only takes one little thing for them to for it to be a deal breaker, and they're acting like there isn't like a shortage. Like, and I'm not saying it in a negative light, but there's I don't know. I listen to Jason Black, and then he talks about how there's like so many like there's a small amount of black men that the same women they mess with all the time, and then outside of that there's these top tier men that women have to be on top of their game to get. So these women, they want that type of man, but it seems like they aren't doing what they need to do. They're not up in their game to get that type of man. They just they feel like what they're doing is fine, that they don't have to change their attitude, that they don't have to learn how to cook, like, or like they don't have to bring anything to the table, like just because they have a vagina that is good enough, or because they look a certain way that's good enough. And it's become a big problem out here. It really has. Just a minute, please.
And another thing too that I will say that us as black men have to do to uphold the standard is because I've seen this too, especially in my apartment complex. I've seen like an older man, probably in his 40s or whatever, picking up some young chick, you know, for a good time and stuff like that. I think that needs to stop. I think I think a lot of these older guys, instead of being elders in the community, you know what I'm saying, you use the youth. That needs to stop because you're treating these young girls like prostitutes. Seen too many old tricks. So I think we as men, we have to move better. Stop moving like tricks. Stop moving trying to think of another insult. Suckers.
Hoes.
Yeah, hoes.
I'm running on hoes.
Stop trying to use these young girls for their bodies because these are probably going to end up being mothers and stuff like that. Why are you ruining these young youths? When I see a woman who is young and full of energy and vibrant, and I don't want to ruin that. That's how I think as a man. I don't want to ruin this woman. I don't want to use her for her body and destroy this woman. So I'm not going to sit there and use this woman for her body and then throw her away like she's trash. Like, no, I actually love black women. Like, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen too many of these older guys, you know, sitting there treating these girls like prostitutes, and that shit needs to stop. And then you wonder why they got this type of mind frame. It's because y'all treat them bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was on my heart. But I'm gonna drop down, and hopefully some women come up and give some stories.
Hey, I'm
And
a,
if not, we
I,
could do like a part two to this space because I didn't know that it was coming up, and
Yeah, yeah.
I have
I'm
to
gonna
leave
do
and
it.
help with another one. But I would like to do more planning next time. I would definitely like to be part of it and just do a part two.
Yeah, part
and
two.
hear more
And I
from
need
more
number
women.
women in that part too.
Yeah, because I'll make sure that they're here.
Yeah. Oh, we got a woman. Nice tea girl. Go
Yeah.
ahead, please.
Hey, if I could just say to attest to what the brother been saying, I witnessed that down here where I stay, where you get the older man, they'll get the young girl pregnant, and that child will grow up not really knowing their father, and the whole neighborhood would know. By the way, like it's like everybody would know. It'd be like an unspoken thing. So I mean, I hate to say it, but like I'm not saying that that's everywhere, but it's prevalent enough to where yeah, I've seen examples of it as well.
Nice tea. Go ahead.
Hi, peace family. Thank you for allowing me to speak. So I just wanted to add to the conversation a bit. I can recall, for me, I'm in my 40s. I ain't gonna tell y'all my age, but I do have a daughter that's 27, so y'all can do the math. I did have her young. But I would tell you that not my mom. I was raised by a single mom, and she definitely instilled respect, and morals and all that good stuff in me. But when I would go to my friend's house, and same thing, they had single mom homes, and I recall one of my friend's mom telling my friend and I, when y'all out here, dating these young boys and stuff, don't y'all go out here and get a wet ass and what she say, a wet ass and a rambling mind, meaning don't go out here and be laying up with these dudes and get nothing. So a lot of the mentality of these young folks today or women today, this stuff is being taught in the home. Now, why, her mother was telling us this, I don't know what was instilled in her mom. This mother right now would be in her late 60s at this point. But this is stuff that was instilled in a lot of the women my age, I would say. And then a woman like myself who has a daughter in her 20s, if I didn't know better, I would be teaching my daughter the same thing. Sell yourself, to maybe get love or forget love. Forget the protection, forget all of those things, forget, raising a beautiful Black family. Just get what you can out of a dude. So I just wanted to add that to it. A lot of this is, being planted inside of Black women, our women, from a long time ago. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, y'all. So I just wanted to add that, and thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you, Nice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, part two is coming soon. Part two is coming soon. And I need more females.
I'll make sure to have all of that ready next time. I just did not know the space was going
Yeah,
to happen
I
until
just
like
literally
five
made it up.
till
I
5 minutes before.
yeah. But anyway, I thank everyone for their perspectives and yeah, enjoy the rest of your days. All right. Peace.
Peace.